Hey, this is the Mad Master. I got my new They Live mask. It's pretty sweet. I think I ordered it from Redbubble, something like that, or one of those places. Can't remember. I need to check my PayPal transactions. But yeah, I bought a They Live face mask. Which, hey, is this supposed to be Dr. Fauci? I don't know, but I think it's awesome. I'm making a statement. So it's really sad that I got the sniffles. I might be counted as a probable case because I have the sniffles. According to the CCC, I might have it because I might have been out in public. Oh my God, better count me as cases. Cases are going up. Oh my God. Ah! So okay, so I'm gonna calm down and get my composure here. All right. So I am really sad today that people are such fucking sheep and they think they know it all. They think that they trust the experts. I'll trust the experts without questioning anything. And it's not like I have, like a disdain for medical experts per se, specifically, but at the same time, it's kind of ridiculous that we have this contention in America between these sides, these polar opposite views about things like the masks. And I'll wear masks if I'm required to. I don't wear masks hanging out with friends, which I do, like I said in a previous video. And I'm not going to wear it on dates because I don't see people doing that here in Madison. Obviously we got some more cases coming. Mostly young people. I don't know why it's shifted to young people. Is that because, I don't know, it's just bizarre. Why is it all of a sudden young people? Because they just want to, it's just weird. I'm not saying that's a conspiracy, but it's just a little bit weird. Well, young people are vulnerable too, so we have to highlight the young people. It's just like, what the hell? I don't know. It's just weird. So, I hate it. Got a lot of friends that are totally blind to, or not blind, but they're just totally deaf to hearing anything about maybe things are a little bit different than what they've been telling us. And, Deborah Birx, about a little more than a month ago, questioned the CDC, head of the CDC, because she said that 25%, they might be counting over, 25% more deaths, or I think it was deaths or cases than they were because of their criteria. She actually said this. So, trust the experts. Well, if the experts disagree, who do we trust then? If the experts disagree, if the World Health Organization is saying something, CDC saying something different, Fauci's saying something, Birx is saying something, the other medical professionals are saying something, Stanford's saying something, Oxford's saying something, Yale's saying something, all these people. How are we going to trust the experts? Trust the experts. And how do we trust the government? Why do people that talk about people not wearing masks, it's like, we have PTSD as a country, in a way, from the government, because government, and I'm not like an anti-government right-wing, person. I mean, I consider myself somewhat libertarian in a social sense, but we've been so, since 1947, when the Cold War kind of got its start, and even Roswell, hell, we should throw that, because 1947 is when Roswell happened and stuff. So, like, all this stuff, JFK's assassination, Martin Luther King, Robert F. Kennedy, Malcolm X, all this stuff, Iran-Contra, the first Iraq War. I mean, that's where I kind of, around that time is when I started to wake up, because I saw obvious propaganda. And, there were some adults around me in the household that were, like my mother's friend that lives with us and stuff. And, he said that, this is like, just look at what they're saying and then what they're doing and all this stuff. And kind of put it together at an early age when that happened. And then the movie JFK came out.
and I got into that. Now, there's probably a lot of inaccuracies in that, but that's really what happened with me. And I read Jim Garrison's book, and then I was kind of got a little more mainstream. I knew that Bill Clinton was like not the best person, but nevertheless, I kind of supported him at first, and then I stopped when I started reading Noam Chomsky and stuff. And the turn of the 2000s, I started getting to Jesse Ventura and read his book, his first book. I think it was his first book. Ain't Got Time to Bleed, and I kind of got into the idea that the two-party system is just completely corrupt and fucked. So that was kind of, and then 9/11 happened, and I was already into like the idea that America, there's not all what it seems of the government and what they're telling us, but that was like a, pardon the expression, that was kind of a bomb in my reality, sense of reality, because there's so many, lies and just half-truths, and then, the Iraq War and the WMDs and all that. So, yeah, trust the experts, right? Yeah, we trust, nobody's going to trust the experts. They're going to, when they say something about masks and then take it back, and then there's an article that says this, and an article that says this, and all this, and obviously, like I said, it's changing science, but there's got to be, there's all this chaos. It just seems like there's something more to this. I mean, it just, if you believe, it doesn't mean that you're a conspiracy theorist just because you question the idea. Why are they counting probable cases in places when someone, has a symptom that is classified with a cold or fever, flu, whatever? Why are they counting that as a probable case and counting that as a case? I mean, they might. I mean, I was watching this city council meeting in Texas, and I could post a link to it. I might actually try to capture it and put it up. And they were saying that they were doing that. I don't know the truth if they're doing that everywhere. Or I'd have to watch the video game, but it sounded. I mean, the worst fears that people had about how they're counting cases with this might actually be true. I was like, oh no, that's not true. So I already knew they were counting the deaths weird, and it doesn't mean that a red state won't undercount deaths for political reasons. I'm not going to eliminate that possibility, because I know that's probably true. I never know, there might be unknown cases too that have resulted in deaths too. So I'm not discounting that. What I'm talking about is that the fact of the matter is that 2009, if someone died from swine flu, if they had a heart attack and went into the hospital and had swine flu, the death certificate would say, and they died from heart attack but had swine flu, it would have said heart attack exacerbated by swine flu. With the current virus, it says the virus. It's on the CDC website. They changed the classification. That I don't know why. I'm doing a video. It's going to be a little more organized than this. It's just more of a rant about all my unanswered questions about this stuff. So this is just more of a rant. But you question those things. You're like, you're a COVIDiot, or you're a conspiracy theorist. If this is a big fucking deal, locking down the country and just destroying the economy. I mean, I don't think the economy's forever destroyed. It'll come back, but it's just like there seems to be something weird with this. I just smelled something. I guess you'd say, in a proverbial sense. I thought something was weird from the onset, and I don't usually do. I didn't do that in 2009. I didn't think oh, they're making this up, because it just didn't seem like it. Or with the Ebola thing with Obama, I didn't think that he made it. He invited those people in, or it was on purpose. No, it was just it was an accident that these people came in. They had Ebola and stuff. So, and yeah, I mean, obviously, if they hadn't disbanded Obama's pandemic team, maybe things would have been different. I'm not gonna. Donald Trump shares the blame. Donald Trump is the one who hired these people. It's his administration that the CDC is under. So all this weird stuff. There's an article a little while back from the Atlantic, which is hardly hardly the Infowars type of outfit, and they talked about how they're counting antibody tests with cases and how that's very problematic. And there was another Live Science article that kind of referenced this article more recently that I shared. And the problem is that there's no explanation, it seems, to be why they're making these moves and why are they, doing these types of things with the classifications. So the American public, including a lot of more ignorant people that watch a lot of conspiracy stuff, will latch onto that and be like, "See, they're lying to us. I'm not gonna wear no mask. They're lying to us." And who can fucking blame them? Who can blame them? Speaking of who, World Health Organization. We can blame them, but partially. Who can blame them? They've, like I said, we've gone through like 60 years, 60, 70 years plus of lies and cover-ups and, dare I say it, conspiracies or possible conspiracies. There's just too many things, like JFK. It's like, oh, well, he was a lone gun with Oswald, blah, blah, blah. Bugliosi solved it in his book, blah, blah. By the way, there's a new book by this guy that I bought about Charles Manson and the CIA. It's pretty interesting. I don't know how much of that is true, but I'm going to read it pretty soon. So, and he's kind of, I guess Bugliosi was going to have some lawsuit against the guy. In the beginning of the book, they talk about he's at Bugliosi's house and he's really mad at him and stuff. Bugliosi's mad at this guy. So anyways, we've been through all this stuff. How are you, the public health stuff is not going to, you're not going to shame people into wearing masks. I'm sorry. People are going to resist because they resist that stuff. You're not going to shame people. I mean, it's just not going to work. And more people are going to get it. I mean, more cases are going to happen, or whatever they're counting as cases, of course, sometimes. Like I said, it's fucked up. So, I mean, the fact of the matter is that this whole thing's been a clusterfuck. Confusing clusterfuck. And it doesn't pass the smell test. Something is weird about this, and I'm not going to say it's some kind of, what conspiracy it is, or who's behind it, or why they're doing what they're doing. There could be a very benevolent, reason, like, oh, well, we have to keep track of this, so we don't know, it's new, so we have to blah, blah, blah. But I just haven't heard a really reasonable, cogent explanation of all this stuff, of how they're counting stuff. It's really fucking questionable. And then they backtrack and they backslide and they obfuscate and do all sorts of stuff with regards to it. So it's like, what the fuck, Of course, the real red flag for me was the language in the press. And it includes the big tech / blogger, non-legacy media press, like, Vox, Huffington Post, fucking, BuzzFeed and all this shit. Now, I'm not talking about the early days when they said it wasn't even a threat, but I'm talking about the new normal. Things will never be the same again. What will life be like after the virus? All this shit. Because that was 9/11. What's life gonna be like after 9/11? Are we gonna have terrorists on every corner? And we have like police with their spy glasses spying on the Arabs on every corner? The invisible enemy? You're either with us or you're against us. So now it's like, instead of that southern voice, that redneck Republican guy, it's more of like a fucking, a left-wing liberal. You're either with us or against us. You're for killing grandma the virus. Whereas before it's like, you're for killing our United States with them Arabs if you don't support George W. Bush and what he's doing. So the shoe's on the other foot, and that scares me. People are like, yeah, it's a conspiracy theorist. People that don't wear masks are such horrible people. Oh, I'm just gonna shame them all day. It's like, it's fucking bullshit. Of course, wearing masks helps probably, with droplets and stuff, but Who knows? You know? And people aren't going to follow the guidelines because people aren't going to. People are sick. People are fucking. They have PTSD from all the shit that America's done for the last 70 years. I mean, that's the fucking fact. It's like, I don't know, I'm just going to live my life, you know? I don't know. I'm like, you know, maybe I'll get the virus, but I don't know. You know, it's like, what do you expect people to do? What the fuck do you expect people to do with this shit? After all this shit. Who the fuck do you expect people to believe? Fucking government officials who lied to us repeatedly the last 20 years about foreign policy, fucking WMDs, about chemicals in the air, fucking, you know, all this stuff. Just, the list goes on. You're going to believe just because they're experts. Trust the experts. This is what I trust about the experts. This is what I trust. That's what I trust the experts. So, no, I don't trust the experts. I mean, I think a lot of people are willing idiots, you know, useful idiots sometimes. I don't hate, like, the Trump's pandemic team necessarily. I don't think I don't know, you know, I don't know. Maybe they are evil or in on something, but I think this goes a little bit beyond that. I don't know what it is, but it smells weird. And it could be something, it could be nothing. It could be something that, like, you know, like, for example, with 9/11, I kind of figured out, like, maybe it wasn't necessarily an inside job, but whereas that they let it happen on purpose because they were forced to do so, because of otherwise, like, stuff with Saudi Arabia and stuff, like, they would destroy, it would be a worse result if they didn't let it happen. Stuff like that, like a blackmailed, you know, kind of thing. You know, I've explored these possibilities. And maybe with this thing, maybe it's something, you know, there's stuff going on with China or whatever, you know, or economic stuff. Maybe it's not a nefarious intent, but even, let's say there's no conspiracy. Like I said, a thought experiment, there's no conspiracy. Shouldn't we have the answers of what the fuck's going on? Shouldn't we know why they do these things? A more straightforward answer. It's kind of like at my job, you know. I work at home now, but I've been put back into my old role pretty much, even though I'm kind of like an assistant supervisor role before that I got this new job in my company that I worked for, you know, for about 9 years now. So now they put us in this old role, and there's no straightforward answers. There's just obfuscation. Oh, well, the average handle time is too high, so we got to lower that average handle time on these calls, and then you'll be able to go back to your old job. It's like, huh? What? What the fuck are you talking about? Just give me an outline, a timeline, and fucking dot the I's and tell me, you know, give me a path to getting back. So that's pretty much what I have to say about that. It's fucking confusion. And if people believe, you know, people believe what they want, but there's so much confusion in this that what else do you expect? You know, after this is, it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like with, I'm just trying to think of what I would say. It's like PTSD. It's like a child is abused enough, they're just going to turn off and be numb, you know. Yeah, you know, oh, I'm not going to wear a mask, whatever, you know. Yeah, I'm just going to live my life. And, you know, the mask thing, unfortunately, you know, maybe that's not the mask thing. I'm talking more like the social distancing, people living their lives normally. But they're going to resist this zeitgeist of telling them to wear masks because partially they're cynical and partially, you know, they're right-wing or whatever. And they're scared of control because, and they don't know who to believe, so they're just like, fuck you, you know. It's like a rebellious teenager, actually, in that case, with a abusive parent. But they have PTSD too, so they're kind of doing, I don't know, what the fuck, what are my metaphors, whatever. But anyways, please subscribe. Like I said, I'm probably going to be doing about 10 more videos this month, staggered out, maybe, considering how easy this new software is, probably maybe more like 20, but I will see you later. Peace out.